What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Zero Lab. Today, we're taking a look at another Pokemon TCG Pocket deck, and this one is super fun. It's a little bit different version of Pikachu EX than I've played in the past. And I just find this version to be a lot more fun because we're focusing on some single prize attackers, although we obviously have the Pikachu EX in here as well because Pikachu is just the best card in the game, really, like the best basic EX attacker in the game. And so we can't, we're not going to play a lightning deck without it here. But we do have a 2/2 Raichu in here. The Raichu has that Thunderbolt attack that does 140 damage for 3 lightning energy, and then you discard all of the lightning energy on the Raichu. So that can knock out basically any basic EX in the game. And I believe a few of the Stage 1 EXs as well. So this is doing big damage numbers on a single prize attacker, which can really swing the prize trade in our favor. And how we're going to be loading up that Raichu is we also have the Magenton in here, a 2/2 Magenton line. It has the Volt Charge ability that says once during your turn you may take a lightning energy from your energy zone and attach it to this Pokemon. And then we have the Lieutenant Surge supporter that says move all lightning energy from your bench Pokemon to your Raichu, Electrode, or Electabuzz in the active spot. So we load up energy on our Magnetons with that ability and then use Lieutenant Surge to send that energy up onto the Raichu and attack for 140 damage with the Raichu. Rounding out the list, though, we have 2 Pikachu EXs, obviously, with that Circle Circuit attack. For 2 Lightning, doing 90 if we have a full bench, so very strong attacker there. 2 X Speeds, 2 Pokeballs, 2 Research, and 2 Sabrina, as well as those 2 Lieutenant Surges. I think this deck is really, really strong. If we can get Magneton set up early and find those Lieutenant Surges at the right time, we can be attacking for big numbers with that Raichu. While we're attacking with Pikachu EX in the early game, being fast and aggressive with that economical attacker there in that Pikachu EX. So I think this deck is a lot of fun. It's the most fun way for me personally to play Pikachu right now. So we're going to jump into a couple of matches on the ladder here with Pikachu Magneton and see how we do. Finding our first opponent. And let's see what we're playing up against. Tails, that's always great when you're playing a lightning deck to have to be going second. Our hand is Pikachu EX, Magneton, Raichu, and Sabrina. So we'll get the energy attachment down turn 1 onto our Pikachu EX. Looks like we're going up against a Blaine deck with those Ninetales, potentially some Rapidash, maybe an Arcanine thrown in, something like that. So it'll be interesting to see how this matchup goes. Obviously, we need to draw into more of our basic Pokemon. We have 4 basic Pokemon left in the deck, 2 Pokeballs, and 2 Professor's Research. So 8 out of those 15 cards are something we'd like to draw into on this turn. So we got about a 50-50 shot of drawing into something good. But we didn't get it that time. That's all right. We'll just attach the Pikachu, bench the other Pikachu, and then we'll end our turn here. Depending on what our opponent does, we could see an attack by like a Rapidash for 40 because it's just 1 energy attachment. They might just Tail Whip here as well. Hope to hit heads. Obviously, that Vulpix, the Tail Whip is flip a coin of heads. The defending Pokemon can't attack during your opponent's next turn. We do see a Research coming down from them. Attach on the Vulpix. And yeah, it looks like it's probably just going to be a Tail Whip here unless they choose to retreat out of that Vulpix. Red card coming down. Obviously, we had our evolutions in hand, but they weren't doing us much good without having our basics. Red card giving us a Magnemite and Magneton, so that is all right. That Magnemite will allow us to hit enough damage to knock out the Vulpix, but they do flip heads on that Tail Whip, so no attacking for us this turn. Draw into another Pokeball. That's great. Hopefully, we can find a Pikachu off of this. Another Magnemite is also fine. So we're going to bench one of those Magnemites. We'll attach for turn onto the Pikachu. I think we're going to Sabrina here. The reason for that is I don't want them attacking with a Ninetales next turn. So hopefully by Sabrinaing, it's forcing them to either just attack with the Rapidash or have to have both Ninetales and an X Speed in hand to attack with Ninetales. They send up that Rapidash. I'm debating whether or not to bench the Magnemite. And I think I'm just going to... I think I'm just going to hold off for now. I'd rather have a spot for a Pikachu open. But if we end up needing to bench the Magnemite to just do more damage, we can definitely do that. Fire Main, probably going to be the attack here for 40 into our Pikachu. They did research, so obviously no Blaine to increase that damage. And yeah, Fire Main going to do 40 to our Pikachu EX. That means Pikachu is probably going to get knocked out on the following turn. I'm going to research here, see what we can find. Another research and an X speed. So I'm going to bench that Magnemite now. Then we're going to Volt Charge on Magenton. And now we got to decide what we want to do here. Circle Circuit doing 90. They got a big hand, but they didn't evolve into the Ninetales, so they might not have it. They're down both research. They can't draw more. I'm just a little bit worried about that Ninetales. We can't give up an EX right now. That puts us in a really bad spot. So we're going to retreat out of this Pikachu into the Magnemite. And then just Lightning Ball. If they don't have it, then we can go back into the Pikachu and take our first knockout on this Rapidash. Just the fact that we couldn't do 100 damage there and left a 2-prizer in the active just didn't sit right with me. So I think it's good to go into the Magnemite. They could have the Blaine here to take the knockout. Potion gonna negate the damage that we did with that Magnemite, unfortunately. And yeah, Blaine gonna get the knockout on the Magnemite here. That's unfortunate. And really what we need in this matchup is the Raichu, but our Raichus and Pikachus are hiding from us right now. Sabrina could get us a knockout on something. We need to draw into Pikachu and Raichu. There's a second Magenton. That's not going to do it. Volt Charge onto the Magenton. Unfortunate. Unfortunate start here. We have 2 Pikachus and a Pokeball and 2 Raichus in that deck. Like, our whole deck is all the cards that we would like to see right now. There's the Ninetales, so that is going to be the end of the game here. Ninetales going to knock out our Pikachu EX, sadly. So, we're going to concede. Yeah, unfortunate draws in that game. Couldn't get a Raichu established, and really that's the whole point of the deck. Like, our entire combo was what was left in our deck. We had 7 cards left in deck, and it was 2 Pikachu, 2 Raichu, a Pokeball, and 2 Lieutenant Surge. The entire rest of our deck was the combo that we're trying to pull off in the game. Just couldn't draw into any of those pieces, sadly. We're going to go into a game 2 here. But that's just what happens in TCG Pocket sometimes. That's what makes it fun. Maybe more fun for some people is that, you know, just there's more variance, I think, in TCG Pocket than the IRL TCG. And I think that allows people, you know, to maybe come from behind, or, you know, more people who aren't as into the TCG to be able to do well against, you know, people who are more into TCGs, because there's a lot more variance, so the game is a little bit less about skill sometimes. But looks like we're going up against a Mewtwo deck. See how we can do. We are going second here. We have Magnemite and Magenton in hand, Raichu and Pikachu. We're going to draw into a second Magnemite. If we can get double Magenton established in this game, that should be really good for us. We'll just end our turn there. Now we just need to be drawing into our Lieutenant Surges to move those energies to Raichu from the Magnetons once we get them established. Just going to be a Ram from the Ralts here. Draw into another X speed. That's not really helpful right now. But we'll Volt Charge here. Attach to Pikachu. And we're just going to Gnaw. There's no way for them to knock out this Pikachu this turn. So no need to evolve up into the Raichu. And let's see what they do. Is it just going to be another Ram, or do they have more basic Pokemon? There is a Pokeball, so they're going to find another basic Pokemon. There's a Jinx. Going to attach Return to the Jinx. Then just choose to Ram again. Jinx now, next turn, going to do Psychic. Enough to knock out the Pikachu. But that's not going to be an issue now because we drew into Lieutenant Surge. Which means we have the energy to knock out this Ralts and then no energy left on the Raichu after the attack, so Jinx won't be able to do much to us. Volt Charge now. We wanted to do that in the right order so we'd have that extra energy on the Magneton. And then Thunderbolt going to come down and take a knockout on the Ralts. Jinx now is going to be doing, with no energy on our Raichu, Jinx is only going to be doing 30 damage, so it's 3-shotting our Raichu right now. So we're not going to attach any energy to the Raichu. We're just going to be loading up this Magneton and hope to draw into another Lieutenant Surge. I think we might hit into the Jinx with Magnemite next turn, especially now that they've brought it up. They are 2-shotting the Magnemite. Pokeball. If this finds us a Pikachu EX, we'll attach to that for turn. Just finds us another baby Pikachu. Gonna Volt Charge here. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna Gnaw with the Pikachu. Retreat out of that Magnemite. Into the Pikachu. Gnaw doing 20 will set up the 60 for the Magneton next turn to knock out the Jinx if they don't potion. Mewtwo decks obviously do play potions though, so that might not do what we need it to do. There's another Ralts coming down. Mewtwo EX coming down. We need to find another Lieutenant Surge for sure. Psychic gonna do 50 to our Pikachu, but that's fine. It did what we needed it to do. We can now use the Magneton to knock out that Jinx. There's a Pikachu EX. There's another Raichu. We're gonna X speed out of the Pikachu. Retreat into Magneton. Volt Charge. Attach for turn. Evolve up into Raichu there. And then we'll Spinning Attack for 60. That'll take the knockout there. Then their Mewtwo will come up and do 50 to us. If we can top deck a Lieutenant Surge, that would be really cool. But we'll see what we're able to do here. We might just be forced to sort of sacrifice that Magnemite next turn. And there's the concession from our opponent. They couldn't quite get there that game. We drew a lot better. We were getting those evolutions. We got the Lieutenant Surge when we needed it. And we're able to win that game. So we got lucky that they didn't have the potion on the Jinx that one turn. That definitely helped us out. We set up that 20 damage, and then if they'd had the potion on the Jinx, that would have been really unfortunate. But we're going to jump into a game 3 and see if we can win a second one with Pikachu Magneton. High-level player here, so curious what we'll be playing against. Tails, that means we're going second. That's great. Hopefully we can start a Pikachu EX. Start Magenton, Pikachu. We'll start the Pikachu. Bench the Magnemite. We have Research to hopefully draw into Raichu. And then we have Magneton, Attach Return, Lieutenant Surge. All that good stuff that we need to potentially attack with Raichu on turn 2 of the game if we can draw into it. Clefairy coming down. Research from our opponent. Second Clefairy coming down. Pokeball. Probably going to find them another Ghastly, depending on what this deck is. What else this deck has in it. Yep, there's the second Ghastly. Alright, we've got a Pokeball. That's great. We'll play that before we research. Another Pikachu. So we're going to research here. We'd like to find an EX and a Raichu. There's the Raichu and the Pikachu EX. That's great. Alright. We're going to attach return to the Pikachu. Bench that Pikachu. And then we'll gnaw for 20 into this Ghastly. We have the Raichu and Magneton and the Lieutenant Surge to pull off a Raichu attack next turn. If we want to do that. Back to us. Double Raichu here. Just nice. Volt Charge. Gonna start powering up that Magneton. Although I'm not entirely certain we want to swing with the Raichu yet. Like, that's a cool combo, but it leaves us with no energy in play. I think we just go in with Pikachu EX next turn. And we save that Lieutenant Surge for later in the game. I think that's actually going to be a lot better for us. We could go really aggressive against this Ghastly, but there's not really a reason to do that when our Pikachu EX is going to do a lot for us on the following turn. And then we can just power up this Magneton. And then Lieutenant Surge later. Let's see what our opponent does here. They attach return onto that benched Ghastly, so obviously they're trying to power that up to get into a Gengar. We do have to be careful also, because Gengar has an ability that says we cannot use supporters. So we got to be careful of that. We're just going to attach to the Pikachu, retreat out of the Raichu. And then we are going to Volt Charge, obviously. And then Circle Circuit going to do 90 to this Ghastly. Since they haven't evolved into a Haunter yet, we're not in very much danger, obviously. We're also in a position where we're going to one-shot this Clefable next turn because we can then use our Lieutenant Surge to power up the Raichu. So I think that's what we're going to do since we can't hit 100 with Pikachu EX. So I think we're going to retreat out of Pikachu into the Raichu. We're going to Lieutenant Surge all of that energy onto the Raichu. Attach return to the Pikachu, and then Volt Charge here again. And Thunderbolt will knock out that Clefable. And then we'll just kind of see what our opponent's able to do on this turn. Looks like they probably have that Gengar in hand. There it is. We could kind of be in trouble because that Gengar is doing 100. So it is one-shotting our Raichu. And we can't play a supporter. We'll just knock out our Pikachu if we send that up. I think we're kind of in trouble here, actually. I'm not sure there's much we can actually do. Yeah, they're just doing 100 every turn now. So you have to sacrifice this Raichu. And then they just need a Sabrina for game. Unfortunately. And we can't play our own Sabrina, obviously, because the Gengar is active. That Shadow Spellbind ability. So we just have to send up our Pikachu. That was huge. So now we're doing 90. They still just need a Sabrina for game. But now we're doing 90 and 90 again on the following turn. So we do have a shot at winning. But it comes down to whether they have the Sabrina or a potion. Either card wins them the game. Yeah, there's the potion. And Sabrina. Okay, so they're just BMing. That's all right. Unfortunate. I'm not sure there was anything else we could have done really differently in that game. Yeah, that was a tough one. Yeah, I'm not sure there was much that we could have done there differently. But yeah, I think this is a really fun way to play Pikachu. Being able to blow things up with that Raichu is really, really cool. The Magenton is a lot of fun, and the Lieutenant Surges are very fun as well. A few unfortunate games there, but we did get a win off of that fire deck. Or not the fire deck. Which one did we beat? I don't remember which deck we beat in this video. But yeah, a few unfortunate games, a few good ones. But I do think that this deck is a lot of fun. So, you know, give it a look. See if you enjoy it for yourself. And if you like this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you guys in the next video.